Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, March the 6th. We're here to look at new releases that have been published this week. And on Thursdays, we look at fantasy and science fiction. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight. They are at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. Our next ones are on Saturday afternoon. Hope you had a good day. Hi, Mary. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Sunny here, and the winds have calmed down. Had rain yesterday and last night too, but all good. Hope everyone is warm and safe. Well, I need the rain for everything to turn green, I guess. Today is one of our cold days, highs in the 30s. And the daffodils are blooming. Oh, there's a sign of spring. Let me adjust that a little bit. For sure. That and crocuses. Good morning, Cajun. I wound up taking today off too, since I was a bit foggy and tired. That was a good idea. Well, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. We are looking at fantasy and science fiction. You're going to jump around a little bit because I don't have things in a particular order. I want to make sure we get to some names, and then we'll look at the other stuff. First up, second in the Chronicles of Castellane by Cassandra Clare. This is called The Ragpicker King. Kelsarin, body double to Connor, crown prince of the dazzling city of Castellane, is caught between two worlds. In order to protect his beloved prince, Kel must find the culprits responsible for a massacre at the royal palace, and the only clues are held by the Ragpicker King, the notorious criminal who rules Castellane's underworld. The trail Kel follows leads back to the hill, where among decadent nobles and glittering parties, a dark conspiracy to destroy the royal family has taken hold. A conspiracy headed up by the monstrous Artal Gremont, the man engaged to marry the woman Kel adores. Sounds sticky. Meanwhile, Lancaster must face the aftermath of the greatest risk she's ever taken. To save the life of a dying friend, Lynn has falsely claimed to be the goddess reborn, the legendary heroine destined to save her people. Now the terrifying but strangely magnetic leader of her people has arrived to test her powers. The price of failure is exile, and only through her alliance with the Ragpicker King can she continue to access the magic that may save her. Then Prince Connor reappears in her life, demanding that she use her healing powers to cure the madness of his father, the king. Lynn soon realizes the king is gripped by an ancient and terrible magic, one whose lure she cannot deny any more than she can deny her growing passion for Connor. That does sound like a sticky wicket. And Mary says, "Hi, Cajun. Enjoy an unexpected day off, even if it's not 1,000% true. As I say, sleep is good. If you need to rest and things like this, you deserve it." Jim Butcher has a new one in his other series other than Dresden. This is third in the Unorthodox Chronicles, called Cold Iron Task. Grimshaw Griswold Grimsby may have one case under his belt, but he's still a novice auditor in Boston's Department of Unorthodox Affairs, and he's already made mistakes. Desperate to repair his fraying friendships, he doesn't ask too many questions when a mysterious patron offers him the chance to join a heist of an otherworldly vault, and in the process finds answers that could make things right. Complications arise when Grimsby learns that his partner, Mayflower, is keeping secrets about his past. Between facing new demons, old horrors, and monsters, excuse me, both usual and unorthodox, Grimsby soon realizes nothing is how it appears, and that not asking enough questions just might be his downfall. It's okay to ask questions. All right. David Weber is a name. Want to get to this one. Friends Indeed. This is in the world of Honor Harrington, a very well-known sci-fi series. This is book 5 in the Star Kingdom spin-off series by David Weber and Jane Linskold. What happens after the War of the Gods? The answer lies in the heart of the mountain. The trouble with tree cats. Stephanie Harrington didn't discover tree cats. They were indigenous to the planet Sphinx, a colony of the tiny star kingdom of Manticore. But at age 10, she was the first human to bond with one. Now, almost 17, she is the species' greatest champion. To the rest of the human galaxy, if they are known at all, they are recognized as tool-using, socially organized, fuzzy little creatures with no known method of communication, who also happen to be fierce hunters. But are they sapient? Because if they are, that would have all sorts of repercussions for the families who have settled on Sphinx. The Harringtons, not at least. Do they mean sentient? There will be winners and there will be losers, and Stephanie is there to make sure the tree cats don't lose out. And I believe Stephanie is Honor's mother in that world. All right, I think we can flip it now. Flip it good. Mary's still marveling at my lovely package. Better than Christmas. Yay! And good afternoon, Helen. How's it going? And Mary says hello to Helen as well. There's another big one, but it's in this row, and we'll get to it soon. When the Bones Sing by Ginny Myers Sane. The past 3 years have been tough for Lucifer's Creek, Arkansas, a small town quietly tucked away in the Ozark Mountains. More than 24 people have disappeared on the local hiking trails. They're one moment, gone the next, not a trace left behind until their buried bodies are discovered. 17-year-old Dubby doesn't believe in magic, even though she comes from a long line of women who can hear the bones of the dead sing, and for the past few years, the bones have been crooning nonstop, calling out to Dubby to dig them up. Now that would not be great. Some of the old-timers believe that it's the monstrous Ozark's howler snatching people off the Ozark Trail. Well, Dubby doesn't believe in the howler, and she doesn't believe her best friend Lo when he tells her he is being haunted by dark shadows. All she believes in is her talent that guides the local sheriff to the bones when they begin their song, then reuniting the dead with their families to give them some peace. Lo doesn't know peace, though. The shadows follow him everywhere. He soon learns they're the murdered hikers and they want answers. But the truth of their deaths isn't buried with their bones. It's hidden somewhere deep in the hills, and Lo and Dubby must unearth it before anyone else is killed. And I forgot to click on it. This is here because of the magic element here, of course. But just to clarify, it's sort of a hybrid. We're getting a lot of hybrids these days. Hello, Swank. Howdy, everybody. Happy Oreo Day. Is it? Only if it's double stuff. Happy White Chocolate Cheesecake Day. Not only is it Cheesecake Day, it's a specific kind of cheesecake. Every cake must have its day. The Journal of 1,000 Years by C.J. Archer, 6th in the Glass Library series. As Sylvia prepares to meet Gabe's parents for the first time, the last thing she needs is for her long-lost father to cause trouble. While his answers to her questions finally bring clarity, they also usher in danger. But that's not all her elusive father brings into Sylvia's life. His treasured gift of an ancient journal passed down through the generations connects her to the past with its mystical spells and captivating stories. Yet it's the cryptic prophecy written on magical pages that capture Sylvia's attention, hinting at a destiny entwined with Gabe's. Does it relate to the threat of abduction that has dogged him for months? The world's fascination with his miraculous survival has drawn unwanted attention, leading to desperate attempts to unravel the secrets behind his extraordinary abilities. When these efforts fail, his enemies resort to drastic measures, targeting Sylvia to lure Gabe into their clutches. Despite her cautions, Sylvia realizes she may have inadvertently placed Gabe in danger. Has his luck finally run out? Only time will reveal the truth. This is the other big one for the week in fantasy. I know a lot of people read the Legendborn series in the younger booktube fantasy reading peoples. He says, "Hi, Swig. I can definitely get into this day. Love Oreos and can get behind cheesecake too. See, you can honor them both." Oathbound by Tracy Dion, third in the Legendborn cycle. Severed from the Legendborn, oathbound to a monster. Bree Matthews is alone. She exiled herself from the Legendborn order, cut her ancestral connections, and turned away from the friends who can't understand the impossible cost of her powers. This is the only way to keep herself, and those she loves, safe. But Bree's decision has come with a terrible price, an unbreakable bargain with the Shadow King himself, a shapeshifter who can move between humanity, the demon underworld, and the Legendborn secret society. In exchange for training to wield her unprecedented abilities, Bree has put her future in the Shadow King's hands and unwittingly bound herself to do his bidding as his new protege. Meanwhile, the other Scions must face war while their round table is fractured, leaderless, and missing its king's mage, as Selwyn has also disappeared. When Nick invokes an ancient law that requires the High Council of Regents to grant him an audience, the Order's Merlins imprison him. No one knows what he will demand of the Regents or what secrets he has kept hidden from the table. As a string of mysterious kidnappings escalate and Merlins are found dead, it becomes clear that no matter how hard Bree runs from who she is, the past will always find her. Sounds like a lot going on and not necessarily resolution-ish kind of things. There might be more to the series than 3. Might not be a trilogy. A Harvest of Hearts by Andrea Ames. Everyone in Foss Butcher's village knows what happens when the magic workers come. They harvest human hearts to use in their spells. Ew. That's just how life in her kingdom works, but Foss, plain, clumsy, and practical as a boot, never expected anyone would want hers. When a sorcerer snags a piece of Foss's heart without meaning to, she's furious. For once a heart is snagged, the experience is, well, unpleasant. I don't think so. So Foss finds herself stomping toward the grand city to keep his enchanted house and demands that he fixes her before she kills over and dies, or whatever happens when hearts are snagged. But the sorcerer, Sylvester, is not what she expected. Petulant, idle, and new to his powers, Sylvester has no clue how to undo the heart-taking or how to do much of anything, really, apart from sulk. Foss's only friend is a talking cat, and even the house's walls themselves have moods. I wouldn't need that. As Foss searches for a cure, she accidentally uncovers that there is much more to the heart-taking and to the magic workers themselves than she could have ever imagined. End of that row. Emberclaw by L.R. Lamb, second in Dragon Scales series. Looks like this is a duology, so this is the last one of this. Arcady faces their greatest heist yet, posing as a noble student at the Arcane University of Vatra. When the university announces the reinstatement of archaic trials of magic, the ever-penniless Arcady seizes the chance. If they win, they not only prove their worth, but the scholarship will give them more time to unlock secrets and reveal once and for all that their grandsire was not the plague bringer. Yet grief still leaves Arcady broken, and when they close their eyes, they dream of a certain dragon. Everin, once the hope of dragons, is now hated by his kind. When he is eventually released from his prison, the queen is clear. While he may help protect the island from wraith attacks, he is no longer a prince of the realm. As he struggles to find his place in Vir Celine, visions of the past, the future, and tantalizing glimpses of Arcady still haunt him. If he steers the wrong path through fate's storm, he may never be able to create a future where both humans and dragons live in harmony. I'm tempted to say blah, 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 but I won't. Divining the Leaves by Shweta Thakrar. Plant-loving Riddhi Kapadia and popular Neelish Batra were friends once. Now 17 and alone, Riddhi blends natural perfumes, wears flower crowns, and wanders her local woods listening for the leafy whispers of her beloved trees. pleading for the Yakshas to admit her into their enchanted forest kingdom where she knows she truly belongs. After learning his parents' perfect marriage is a sham and getting suspended from school, a heartsick Neelish lands at Riddi's doorstep, the last thing either of them wants. So when a pretty Yakshini offers him the distraction of magic, the same magic he mocked Riddi for believing in, he jumps at it. Furious, Riddi strikes a bargain with a noblewoman of the Yaksha court. In exchange for helping restore her reputation, Lady Solokchana will turn Riddi into the Yakshini she yearns to be and teach her to divine the tree's murmurs. But when Neelish ends up trapped in the Yaksha's realm, Riddi realizes the leaves might be telling a disturbing story about the forest her heart is rooted in. One that, even if the two of them band together, threatens to shred the future like so many thorns. Oh my. Hey, Mary had said, ew, doesn't sound very good to me at the least. Yeah, that. Emily, oh, hi, Emily. I'm joining late, but happy release of Ragbooker King and Oathbound. Absolutely. I went to those near the first. And Mary says, hi, Emily. A Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reed. By encouraging massive accumulations of debt from its underclass, a single corporation, Karis, controls all aspects of society. Anissa lives with her brother in a half-sunken town where they scrape by running a taxidermy shop. Unbeknownst to Anissa, their cruel and indolent mother has accrued an enormous debt, enough to qualify one of her children for Karis's live-streamed assassination spectacle, The Lamb's Gauntlet. Melanoe is a Karis assassin trained to track and kill the sacrificial lambs, the product of neural reconditioning and physiological alterations. She is a living weapon, known for her cold brutality and deadly beauty. She has never failed to assassinate one of her marks. When Anissa learns that her mother has offered her as a sacrifice, at first she despairs. The gauntlet is always a bloodbath for the impoverished debtors. But she's had years of practice surviving in the apocalyptic wastes, and with the help of her hunter brother, she might stand a chance of staying alive. For Melanoe, this is a game she can't afford to lose. Despite her reputation for mercilessness, she is haunted by painful flashbacks. After her last gauntlet, where she broke down on live stream, she desperately needs redemption. As Mel pursues Anissa across the wasteland, both girls begin to question everything. Anissa wonders if there's more life than survival, while Mel wonders if she's capable of more than killing. And both wonder if, against the odds, they might be falling in love. Sounds like Mommy Issues meets Hunger Games. Just saying. I know, that was snarky. Good morning, Elena. How you doing? And Mary says hi to Elena. And Elena says, it rained in my area. Oh, nice. Emily says, hi, everyone. Mary, snarky, but true. Yeah. Hate to say it, but yeah. Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. Evelyn can remember all of her past lives. She can also remember that in every single one she's been murdered before her 18th birthday by Arden, a supernatural being linked to her soul. She would have a lot of past lives if she's killed before her 18th birthday in every one. The problem is that she's quite fond of the life she's in now, and her little sister needs her in order to stay alive. If Evelyn wants to save her sister, she'll have to find the centuries-old devil who hunts her through every life before they find her first, figure out why she's being hunted, and finally break their curse and try not to fall in love again. End of that row. Spells, Strings, and Forgotten Things by Brianne Randall, first in the Sisters of Light and Shadow. In the small town of Gold Springs, Calliope Petriti and her two sisters carefully guard the secret of their magic and the price they must pay to practice it, memories. Luckily, all Calliope wants to do is forget, the mother who left without a trace, the sisters from whom she feels increasingly distant, and most of all, the way the love of her life shattered her heart 2 years ago. How does she remember these things if that is the problem? Never mind. Don't think about logistics. But when a mysterious evil awakens, the fragile thread that holds the sisters together breaks. As their magic slowly begins to fade, Calliope accidentally binds herself to the handsome leader of a rival coven, infamous for their ruthless pursuit of power. Battling the sizzling chemistry with a man she can't trust, Calliope must confront memories of her past, family secrets, and ancient magic in order to protect the town and all she loves. But will she have anything left of herself? Speaking of logistics, if the price is that they can't remember everything, why don't they just write things down and they can read them if they want to? Huh. That was also an issue with Once Upon a Time TV show. They kept, getting wiped of memories. Like, well, just look in your little journals and find out what has happened in the past. Elena says, I am good. Good to hear. This is probably our last one that we have time for. The Radiant King by David Dalglish. First in the Astral Kingdoms. 6 immortal siblings, 5 sworn to peace, 1 demands a throne. Radiance, the mysterious power of life and creation, is theirs to command. Death cannot claim them. For hundreds of years, the ever-living ruled with ease. Yet, when the world is nearly broken beneath their reign, the humbled 6 swear a vow. They will sit upon no thrones, wear no crowns, and no longer teach humanity the gifts of radiance. But after centuries of peace, Eder rejects their vow, anoints himself voice of father, and spreads a new cruel faith across the land. Farron cannot allow such indiscretion. Returning from a self-imposed exile, he swears to crush Eder's kingdom, and he will not do so alone. Serial, their cold and calculating brother, knows all too well that an ever-living dominion is bound for brutality and destruction. But to overthrow a nation, they will need more than each other. They will need an army, and a ruler who can take the throne their own vow forbids. And so they pledge themselves to the fanatical bastard princess, a woman with incredible powers she insists were given to her by the goddess Liliel. But Eder's conquest is not what it seems, and it will take more than a holy war to stop an immortal who heard the desperate plea of a god. Sometimes they're a mouthful. All right. We got very close, but we did not get to all. Tomorrow is a Freeform Friday. We will look at anything interesting that did not fall under those categories, but we'll also look at some of the danglers from previous days. We might have to have an extra show on Saturday morning because there are just so many cozy mysteries we did not get to. We'll play it by ear tomorrow, but I'm sensing it might go that direction. I just don't want to leave anybody out, any authors or books out, because there could be a gem in there. We don't want to miss it. Elena says, see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. You have a good Thursday, sweetie. All right. Well, you guys also have a very good Thursday. Cajun, enjoy your day off. Mary, enjoy. Is your daughter still visiting? Enjoy the visit. And if she's not there, enjoy playing with beads. And I will see you guys hopefully tonight. We have sprints at 8 p.m. Eastern. Mary says, thanks so much. On lots of levels. Hope you and everyone have a great day. I volunteered at the library today. Oh, you get to be around books. Lovely. So warm and safe, and eat an Oreo or two. That sounds like a very good plan, especially if they are double stuffed. Elena, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that. I will see you soon. Have a good day and God bless.